Hello and welcome back to Book with Joys, the podcast where we explore how to build relationships that feel safe, empowering, and secure, not addictive or draining. And today we're diving into one of the most common fears I hear when people start learning about relationship health. If I set boundaries, won't I push people away? This question comes up all the time, whether it's in dating, long-term partnerships, family dynamics, or even friendships. And it's a powerful one, because many of us grew up believing that boundaries are harsh, selfish, or even a sign of rejection. But here's the truth. Healthy boundaries don't push the right people away. They actually pull the right people closer. So in this episode, I'll walk you through what boundaries really are and what they are not, why we feel so afraid to set them, practical steps to set boundaries with kindness and clarity, and how boundaries actually deepen trust and intimacy when done well. By the end of this conversation, you'll see that boundaries aren't the end of connection. They're the beginning of safe, authentic connection. Part 1. What boundaries really are. Let's start by defining boundaries, because most of us were never taught this. Boundaries are not walls. They are not punishments. They are not ultimatums. Instead, think of boundaries as the guidelines you set for how you want to be treated and how you will treat others. They are the invisible lines that keep love safe, not addictive. For example, a wall says, "I'll never let you in." A boundary says, "I'd love to let you in, but here's how we can do it in a way that feels safe for me." A boundary might sound like, "I'd love to hang out, but I need a little notice before last-minute plans." "I care about you, but I can't talk when you yell." "I'm happy to continue once we're both calm." "I value our connection, and I also need one evening a week just for myself." See the difference? Boundaries are rooted in love, clarity, and mutual respect. They're how you protect your own well-being and protect the relationship at the same time. Part 2. Why we fear setting boundaries. So, if boundaries are so healthy, why are they so hard to set? The short answer: many of us confuse boundaries with rejection. Maybe in your childhood, when you said no, you were punished, ignored, or shamed. Maybe you grew up with inconsistent caregiving. Sometimes your needs were met, sometimes they weren't. So now, when you think about setting a boundary, your nervous system screams, "If I speak up, they'll leave me." This fear shows up differently depending on your attachment style. If you lean anxious, you might avoid setting boundaries because you're afraid your partner will think you're too much and abandon you. If you lean avoidant, you might resist other people's boundaries because they feel like demands or control. If you're fearful avoidant, boundaries might feel like a tug of war. Part of you craves them, but another part panics when they show up. But here's the truth. The right people won't leave when you set a boundary. They'll respect you more. And the wrong people? Well, sometimes it's better if they do leave. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about making space for the relationships that are truly safe and supportive. Part 3. How to set boundaries without pushing people away. One of the most common fears people carry in relationships is this: if I set boundaries, I'll lose them. It's the silent belief that saying no, asking for space, or stating what you really need will scare people off, make them angry, or confirm your deepest fear, that you're unlovable unless you sacrifice yourself. This fear is so powerful that many of us live entire lives avoiding boundaries. We overextend, overgive, and overplease, just to keep the peace. But the peace we protect is fragile. Inside, we simmer with resentment, exhaustion, or the sinking sense that people only love us for what we give, not for who we are. But here's the paradox. The very thing we fear, losing love, is far more likely when we don't set boundaries. Why? Because relationships without boundaries eventually collapse under the weight of resentment, unmet needs, or blurred identities. The truth is, Boundaries don't push the right people away. They filter out those who were never safe to begin with, and they draw the right people closer. This guide will take you deep into the art of boundary setting, not as an act of rejection, but as an act of love. Love for yourself. Love for the other person. Love for the relationship itself. What boundaries really are, and what they are not. Let's clear the air. Boundaries are not punishments, silent treatments, ultimatums, selfish walls that keep everyone out. Boundaries are guidelines for how you want to be treated and how you will treat others. The language of self-respect and relational respect. The invisible lines that keep connections safe, sustainable, and real. Think of boundaries like the fence around a garden. The fence doesn't lock everyone out. It simply says, here's where the garden begins, here's where it ends, and here's how to enter without trampling the flowers. Without that fence, anyone could walk through, pull up the roots, or even pave over the soil. With it, you're able to protect what's sacred, while still welcoming others to enjoy it respectfully. When you set boundaries, you're not rejecting people. You're saying, here's how we can connect in a way that keeps both of us safe. Now, let's get practical. How do you actually set boundaries in a way that strengthens relationships, not weakens them? Step 1. Get clear on your own needs. You can't communicate a boundary if you don't know what you need. Ask yourself, what drains me in this relationship? What makes me feel safe, respected, and valued? Where do I feel resentment building up? Often, resentment is a signal that a boundary has been crossed or ignored. Step 2. Communicate with love and clarity. Boundaries work best when they're expressed in a calm, clear, and caring way. A great formula is, I feel emotion when behavior. What I need is boundary. Example, I feel overwhelmed when we make last-minute plans. What I need is at least a day's notice. Notice that this isn't blaming or shaming. It's simply sharing your inner experience and what would help. Step 3. Stay consistent. Boundaries are only as strong as your follow-through. If you say you can't talk during yelling, but then you keep engaging in the fight, your boundary loses power. Gently but firmly hold the line. Step 4. Expect some resistance. Even healthy people may need time to adjust to new boundaries, especially if you've been saying yes to everything for years. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you're breaking old patterns. Remember, people who value you will adapt. People who only benefit from your lack of boundaries will complain the loudest. Step 5. Pair boundaries with reassurance. This is the key to not pushing people away. When you set a boundary, you can also express your care for the relationship. For example, I need more personal time in the evenings, but I love spending weekends with you. I can't talk right now, but you're really important to me. Let's chat tomorrow. Boundaries plus reassurance equals deeper trust. What to expect when you start? At first, people may resist, especially if they've benefited from your lack of boundaries in the past. But here's the key. Their reaction is not proof that your boundary is wrong. It's proof that the boundary is working. Over time, the right people will adjust. They'll respect you more. And the wrong people? Their exit will make space for relationships that are safe and nourishing. The deeper truth. Boundaries as love. Boundaries are not barriers. They're bridges. They're how you say, I want to love you in a way that doesn't cost me myself. They're how you ensure that your yes means yes, your no means no, and your relationships are built on trust, not silent resentment. Part 4. The gift of boundaries. When you start practicing this, you'll notice something powerful. Boundaries don't shrink love. They expand it. They create relationships where both people can breathe, grow, and be fully themselves. They turn connection from a draining chase into a safe, empowering bond. And yes, some people might leave when you start setting them. But here's the mindset shift. If someone walks away because you set a healthy boundary, they're showing you they were never able to love the real you. The people who remain, the ones who lean in with respect and care, are the people who are safe to build with. So, to wrap up, boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting your heart and creating the space for real love to thrive. If this episode resonated with you, and you want to go deeper into how to build relationships that feel safe, empowering, and truly secure, check out my book Attachment Proof Love. Build relationships that feel safe, not addictive. Inside, you'll find practical tools, case studies, and exercises to help you heal old patterns and build love that lasts. Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might need encouragement, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, remember, the right boundaries don't push love away, they invite it in.